Nebraska State Patrol troopers arrested a South Sioux City, Nebraska man after he allegedly headbutted a trooper during a traffic stop. It all unfolded last night. Here's what we can tell you. The Nebraska State Patrol took a 31-year-old Troy Reynolds of Winnebago, Nebraska into custody for assault of an officer. He was also taken into custody for charges to include driving under the influence and resisting arrest. Now, troopers say Reynolds was stopped at 11 o'clock last night for defective lighting. Troopers grew suspicious that Reynolds was impaired. After investigation, they determined he was. As troopers took him into custody, they say that's when he headbutted the trooper in the face. The trooper did suffer minor injuries.